What's going on a Saturday night? What have you got going on that's better than this right here? Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Show Me Your Tanks. Welcome in. Welcome in. I hope everyone's having a fantastic evening and getting ready for the Super Bowl, for the big game tomorrow. I was originally going to do this live stream, and I don't watch football in particularly. So whenever I schedule this, it was for tomorrow. And then after about a day later, I'm just kind of like, wait a minute, that can't happen. And then as I started scheduling in more, I'm just like, you know what? It's so hard to do live streams without overlapping somebody. So, I mean, I do my best. I do the best that I can. So I hope that everyone's having a great day and a great weekend to start off, and all prepared for the big game tomorrow. So I'll just go ahead and say hello to Jim's Fish. Thanks for coming in. Jeff Kane coming in. Thank you. How's it going? Jody Pease, how's it going? We also have Young Bauer Eugene. So that's a new name I haven't seen before. So thanks for coming in as well. Who else we got here? CC's Aquascapes. Hello, how are you? Let's see. I think I said hi to Jim. Who else did I miss? June. Thanks for coming in, June. I appreciate you stopping by. Hope is all well, or hope is all going well for you and everybody else who I haven't mentioned yet. Before I get started tonight, I wanted to make just a small announcement. This is going to be my last live stream that I'm going to be streaming on both Facebook and StreamYard, due to the fact that StreamYard is charging like an astronomical $40 to $50, depending on what you want to pay between basic and premium. And I can stream it from multi-platforms. So I've been really liking this series a lot. So I'm probably going to continue to do so. But I just kind of wanted to give you guys a heads up in advance that I will no longer be streaming on Facebook, because in order to have the free version of StreamYard, you can't stream to multiple platforms. So I'll just be going strictly through the free version of StreamYard to continue this series and bringing people up on the fly every so often. The bad part is I'm only getting like 720p as opposed to 1080p for quality, and you just can't do a whole lot more else with the basic plan. But I'm cheap. So that's kind of like a rendition of kind of one of the small announcements I was going to do. And I'm going to be doing what Jeff's been doing, Salient Aquatics, is he's just been doing it on YouTube. So he kind of has to talk a little bit more instead of bringing up the chats like I was doing earlier. But hey, Zen, thanks for coming in. Hey, Sleeper Barbecue, that's a new one too. I appreciate you coming in and stopping by. So that's kind of a downer for me, because I really like using StreamYard. It's very user friendly. It's nice to be able to stream to Facebook as well and stuff, and have the little added features and stuff that you can do with like the intros and bringing people on the fly. But that's kind of a heads up. And then the second thing I want to do before we get started is I like to do a recap. I didn't have enough time tonight to be able to like bring up videos of like the whole recap from the last time I did Show Me Your Tanks. But it was a lot of fun. Brandon joined in quite a bit, and he was with me throughout, most of the time, which was cool. But it was really neat. It was the first time that I got to see, his name was George. I got a little note thing so I didn't forget. But we got to know George a little bit from Aquaballs. His YouTube is based on aquariums and ball pythons, so he named his channel Aquaballs. He had a lot of aquarium plants. He did a lot of showing around his fish room. Like he had like a very beautiful rainbow fish, killifish, and some of his favorite fish were like the celestial pearl danios, and they were beautiful. Some buffalo heads, and he sets up his fish room in a sort of a golden ratio to where it goes from tallest to smallest, and it's all around like in a circle. So it was like a whole golden ratio that he had set up, and that's the first time I've heard of that. So I thought that was pretty neat. But he also did the airline in his fish room the same as I do, with the Gemco air compressor, and did all the PVC pipe and everything. So I thought that was cool. And then we also had NC Pleco Cavers last time. He did a little update about his fish room and how he shared his Um, let's see, his show guppies, which was kind of cool. That was nice to see. And he has a lot of betas that was really presentable and really pretty that he shared us, or that he shared with us. And then he also wanted to make sure that he wanted to make his website known for ncplecocavers.com, that he sells plecos and betas, and he's trying to get that going there too. So that was really cool. It was nice for him to talk about that. And then, of course, Brandon updated us all on his tanks. He talked a little about his fish room. There were some trouts and stuff that he had as a new fish tank, and a new hang on the back filter he talked about that has a heater integrated into that hang on the back. So I thought that was kind of neat. That's the first time I've seen that. And this fish swap that he's been going to. So that was nice to talk to him. And he started a blackworm colony. If I said that correctly, blackworm colony. So he keeps them just for feeding his fish. So that was kind of interesting to me because I've never seen that before. And he's just specifically going out, and especially like if he wants to breed more fish and feed them like full protein and stuff, live bait. So that would probably work. And then he showed us all his guppies, cories, his killies, Insuda Magigills. I was trying to write some of these names down, some different odds and ends fish that he had that were cool to see. And he feeds these worms algae wafers, because I was wondering what he fed them. So that was kind of neat to see. And it said they all just go after it, and it just looks like a huge congregation of these blackworms all around these algae wafers. And then we had 3G. He was a gentleman that was real big into angelfish. If you guys remember, the angelfish were just absolutely beautiful. He did have a few others, like especially like the let's see, what else do I have on my notes? He had guppies too. He had a haplocatfish breeding tank. But I think the main thing that he liked about his fish room is he had so many beautiful angelfish. I mean, one in particular, he had like the pearl scale angels. Those are my favorite. They were like a silver with a black stripe. But it was very, very neat to see all the different angelfish that he had and all the different colors and stuff. A lot of people really like seeing his fish tanks. I don't believe he has a YouTube channel, and if he does, there's not a whole lot going on. I think what I remember him talking about last time, but it was nice to see him. And then last but certainly not least, we had Jim from Happy Place Aquatics. He came in and hung out for a little bit at the very end, so that was cool. But he was able to give us an update. He's doing well, by the way, for anyone else who hasn't heard from him yet. He had surgery, but he's doing well. He's just kind of coping at home and healing up. And I wish Jim well, and hope he has a speedy recovery from his surgery. And his wife is taking care of his fish room for him, and she's doing a phenomenal job. So hats off to you. And thanks, Jim, for stopping by at the last minute. But yeah. So without further ado, I hope everyone, I forgot to ask for an audio and visual check. I probably should have done the beginning, but I just wanted to make sure I didn't forget all this stuff as a recap and a small announcement about earlier. So with that being said, let me put in a link and let us start this off with Show Me Your Tanks, and we can get everything going. Thank you, Jeff, for that. I appreciate it. And Zen, appreciate it, and Jody. So let me get this link in here, and then we'll see who we can bring up here. Hopefully, we can get some new folks in here, and maybe some updates on other people as well. The funny thing is the first episode was 2 hours and 14 minutes long. The second one was literally like a 27-second difference. Like it was 2 hours and 14 minutes long as well. And it was just crazy. I thought that was exact same time as last. Not even planned that one out at all. Okay, so let me put this in here for you guys to come hang out for a little bit. There you go. This has been a lot of fun, guys. I really like doing this. And as long as I get the same response from all you guys, it's been so much fun. Just from bringing, new people up here, seeing what they got, meeting new people. it's just been so much fun doing this. I really hope that we can continue to do this, for a long time, because it gets everyone's input on, how we all set up our fish rooms. We all get to learn something new every time, because I know for sure I've learned something new every time that I've done this. Well, the first 2 times, obviously, because this is my third one. So this has been really, really good. Hey, Peplin, thanks for coming in. Looks like Geek Boy, I haven't seen you in, so I'm saying hi to you. Is there anybody I missed? Say hello. I think I got everybody. But yes, I did pin that on there. So anyone who wants to come in and join in, you're more than welcome to. And my dad's coming in too. So thanks for coming in, Dad. I appreciate it. I'm assuming you're still in Florida. I know Mom's back in Ohio right now. So everyone say hi to my dad. He's coming in and hanging out with us for a little bit. But yeah, I've really enjoyed this series just because I'm just so fascinated about how people do things differently within their fish room, because not every fish room is the same. Not every fish is exactly the same, down to the last personality, down to the last color, fin, size, that sort of thing. So I think we've had a really, really good outcome with this, and I've really enjoyed it. I know Brandon, he's doing a live stream with his with Kyle. That's who it is. So they're doing that here in a little bit, and so I'm sure you guys are going to be bouncing back and forth between live streams and stuff, so which is fine. So I do appreciate you guys coming and hanging out for a little bit. Hey, Alex. Thank you. Thanks for coming on. I appreciate it. Alex, just a heads up, this is my last live stream on Facebook because I'm no longer using StreamYard. I made that small announcement when I first came in. So just a heads up that you're going to have to start watching on YouTube. But I do appreciate you noticing me on Facebook. That's awesome. Thank you. My dad says, Florida sunshine to all. We're going to need it because we had quite a bit of ice today. Select Bet, can't stay long, but I'm here for a few minutes. Hey, as long as you stop in and say hello and make yourself known, and you're more than welcome to stay and go as you please. But thank you for coming in. I appreciate it. But yeah, yep, definitely catch me on YouTube. Yeah, and it helps the watch hours too, so that's always good. Yeah, it's unfortunate that kind of happens. So pin Jeff, I have to pin my link. All right, so let me see. I wonder if I might have to do that on YouTube. I'm sorry that I know the chat sometimes goes by pretty quick. So let me go here and let's see. I can ban myself on here. That's kind of silly. Ban user and delete their comments. I might have to do this on YouTube. So let me see if I can bring this up here. Let me see if it shows up on here. Pin message. So there we go. Hopefully that works. There we go. It did. We're solid. Yeah. It says don't ban yourself. Yeah, I wonder how that would work out. I'm not going to try, but can you imagine if you accidentally hit, like, say, if you did have someone on here, you accidentally banned yourself because of how fast the chat rolls around? That would just be a nightmare, I feel. You'd have to get a hold of YouTube, and you'd be like, I'm sorry, that sort of thing. But yes, it worked. We got it. Thanks for mentioning that, Jeff. I appreciate it. But yeah, anyone's more than welcome to come by. Select says, if you ban yourself, do you vanish from reality like in Back to the Future? Could be. I might be the next what's the main guy's name in that? I haven't seen the movie in so long. Tip of the tongue. I'll be the next oh my gosh. Man, it just slips my mind. Someone help me in the chat. What's the main guy's name? The main actor in Back to the Future with the crazy hair. I cannot think of it. I'm going to look it up, and you guys are going to have to see if you can beat me to it. I'm struggling. You're going to let me struggle. His name's Doc. Back to the Future actor. That is Christopher Lloyd. I almost said Lloyd too. But yeah, Doc. Christopher Lloyd. All right. Yep. You got it. Updates to the fish room. There really hasn't been a whole lot here, folks. The original Dr. Awesome, yes. Update to the fish room. Work has been pretty busy for me, so there really hasn't been a whole lot of updates. My wife has been taking care of everyone for the time being during my busy work schedule. So I really want to thank her if she's listening in. I think she might pop in here and there tonight as it gets later on down the road. But she's been feeding all the fish, and she's been taking care of my daughter. She's doing well. I did get, maybe I didn't make this announcement then. I did get some new fish, but I think they're a bit young to put them in my main display tank. But Select Peck says, played Dr. Emmett Brown, potentially a time traveler from a far future date, come back to influence Marty's life. Boy, that sounds like a lot of fun. I'd like to go back to the future, I think. If we all could go back to the future and fix a few things. But I guess you'd necessarily, in my personal opinion, I don't think I have too many regrets, if anything, just because the simple fact that you can learn from it, and then you can fix your mistakes by learning it. So then if you take something that's back, and going into the future, then you maybe are going to learn that mistake all over again. You don't want to relive that mistake. So I don't know. It's different. Hey, there she is. There's my wife right there, my beautiful wife, and taking care of my beautiful daughter. She was asking, do you want me to show off my tanks? I think Ash needs to be doing this live stream because she's the one that's been taking care of all these fish for the last week practically. So yes, thank you. You are the best. Okay, so you're just talking about the egg. Alex showed me your egg scraper with the handle today. It's really cool. I'm kind of interested in that too. Maybe you should tell us all about it so we can kind of maybe we all want to get it. Maybe we should look it up too. Uncle Smiley's Aquariums, thanks for coming in. But yeah, I bought a few new fish, and it's nothing real extravagant. I'm hoping eventually it will be, due to the fact of, if you guys remember, I had a giraffe cichlid pass away on me, and my whole African cichlid tank upstairs went nuts. that Venusis was unfortunate and very random. So I've been looking for replacements, and I haven't found it. And I finally found some, but they're a little small. So I got a couple of them. It looks like they're doing well, and from what my wife told me, they seem to be doing good. So that's kind of like, I guess that's like a miniature update, I guess I should say, is that I've gotten a couple of giraffe cichlids, and at this young, it's hard to tell whether they're male or female. So that's the only other downside as well. And every time I went to go find like a little bit larger size Venusis / giraffe cichlid, every store that I had with either didn't have any, or they were really small, or I just didn't have them in stock. Or they had, like, I went to Aquatica Aquarium Gallery, and they have Venusis there, but they were like a different, like almost like an OB Venusis, which was really bizarre. I've never seen that before, but that's not what I was looking for, because I really like the blue face of a male giraffe cichlid with the nice giraffe pattern. I mean, it was very, very noticeable and really neat. So those are two new fish that I got. They're in their quarantine stage at the moment, and they're hanging out with 3 blue dolphins, and they're about the same size. They're probably about only like 1.5 inches to a couple inches big. And those dolphins I'm planning to put into my Frontosa tank upstairs, because I have 7 Frontosa and I only have 3 blue dolphins. And I should have got another blue dolphin, because that means I'm going to have 6. So I'll probably end up getting another just to even out. So that way I have 7 Frontosa and 7 blue dolphins. So I guess I do have a little bit of an update then. Another thing I'm going to do next weekend, which will be kind of a lot of fun. Hey, MC, thanks for coming in. I was trying not to miss anybody. So Appreciate you coming in. My wife says hi to everybody. Dad, is my mom in here? I haven't seen her come in yet, unless I missed it. I think she was going to try to stop in for a little bit, unless she's busy with grandma. Yeah, this coming weekend, this Saturday, Ohio Cichlid Association, they are doing another fish auction. It's going to be about an hour from my house in Strongsville. So I'm hoping to be a part of that. I'll have to get up early, start bagging fish up, and I'm hoping to have a little bit of a success on that. So I think that'll be fun. Interesting, because I've never done it. I've seen it a couple times, just without me bringing any fish. So this will be the first time I'll do it, and I might do like a phone live stream maybe when I do it at the same time, and maybe just kind of go live and see if you guys want to hang out for a little bit next Saturday. So that would be kind of cool. Hey, thanks, June. I appreciate it. Thanks for becoming a member. I think you're a member before, but regardless, I appreciate it. You're more than welcome to. If more people become members, especially now that being monetized is kind of helpful for the hobby. That's kind of like what Jesse wants to do. As more people want to join in as members, and as more things come along within this YouTube journey, I want to be able to do like the spinning wheel with the fish fam link and stuff, and then I want to be able to do like giveaways and stuff as well on here for lives, because I think that'll be a lot of fun. That took effort. You made it though. I appreciate it, June. All right, so we do have Jody P that's in the backstage. Looks like she's looking around at the moment. So Jody, if you want me to hold off for a second, I can. You can just let me know when you're ready in the chat, and then we'll go from there. If you can still hear me okay, Jody. Just give me a heads up, and then we can bring you up. All good. All righty. We are adding you in. What's going on, Jody?
Oh, not a whole lot. Just checking on fish tonight.
Yep, me too. It's actually been pretty much 4 or 5 days since I've even been down here in the fish room.
Yeah, I haven't spent a lot of time down here this week. It's been kind of a rough week and finally starting to get better.
Yeah. I saw you in chat, throughout the last few live streams and stuff, and now it's just been crazy just trying to keep up with everything this week, it seems.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I know how you feel though, because this work is, I worked 6 days in a row this week, and it doesn't end until Monday. So me keeping up with everything it's been a rough week for me too.
Yeah, work pretty much never stops.
And you have a at-home business, right?
No, we run mini storage, so I can do a lot of it from home, but when it comes to maintenance, we have to be out there.
Gotcha.
And there's something to do every day.
Yep, always is. Well, thanks for coming on here, Jody. I don't think we have to do like an intro or anything, because you had a really good live stream with Jorge Mexicali Fish Keeping, and I feel like a lot of people joined in on that, so that was really nice for an intro for you. So
yeah, that was good. I enjoyed that stream.
Good. Well, now that we have you in, Zen got your channel covered on the chat. So without further ado, why don't you show us what you have here and get us started?
Oh, well, right in this tank, I've got a bunch of mystery snails that I will eventually be separating into their own colors in their own tanks here. But I did have an egg clutch from another tank that I dropped in here. So if you can see it, there's my baby purples.
That's
just
awesome.
Hanging out in here. And then I've got some, there's a ton. They're all over in here. But I have also got some 136, L136B plecos in here that I won off a raffle. And I actually just won that raffle again tonight. So I'm pretty stoked. I'm not sure what I'm going to choose this time, though. We'll see.
Okay.
So, yeah, just mystery snails and plecos in this tank. And then in here, we've got calico.
Here?
What's that?
Are these size tanks, these the 20 longs then, or?
That was a 40.
Okay.
Here's another 40. I've got my blue calico platies in here, along with L fudge. Which ones are these? 411s. And let's see
Okay.
if you can see them back in there. They're
Oh
just
yeah, yeah, I
babies.
can see
It'll be
'em.
a year before they're ready to spawn.
Okay. Yeah. Very nice. I really like the
Yep.
color of those platies too. I haven't seen something like that before, like in store around here. Their colors are really
Yeah,
beautiful.
I love blue is probably my favorite fish, and if it'll focus on them here or scare them away, either way.
That's like one of the most challenging things sometimes when you try to take a good picture or video of your fish. You're like, can you guys sit still for just a second?
Right. This one, if they'll come back out, is my gold ringed hillstream loaches.
Oh yeah. They're hiding a little bit. That's a one of your other plecos then?
No, this is a gold ring hillstream loach.
Oh, that's right. Brandon told me about those before. Now that you mentioned it, that's right.
Yeah, I got these from Dan's. They're so fun. And these were actually already, mature enough to spawn when I got them. However, they are not nearly as prolific as the linealatas. So I think I've got 7 adults in here. I'm going to split them up into different tanks.
Okay. Yeah, those things are really neat looking. Are they really active too, with running around the entire tank? Or okay.
Oh yeah, they love these rocks though. This is their primary hangout, but they go around and play in the plants and lay on the leaves of the water wisteria and
that's neat.
have a good
That's
time.
really cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Let's see. Got another mystery snail tank here. This is the one I took the egg clutch out of. So I've got a couple purples and an ivory in here that consistently give me purples, so I don't see the need to screw with it.
Right, that makes sense.
Yep. Up here I've got half black white guppies, and one snuck in with a leopard tail in my last order, so she's going to have to get moved.
Man, those tails are beautiful too.
They are. I love guppies. And I have a bunch of galaxy blue tail fry in here.
Okay.
Some more guppies.
Very pretty. I really like I don't mean to kick back a little ways, but like I like the plants in your tank. They're like the green-red mixture to it too.
Oh, yeah. It's just a bunch of blood red rotala. Unfortunately, I've got like a massive algae outbreak in this tank, so no plants get sold out of this one right now. Kind of bummed.
Makes sense. I really like it though. I really like that green-red. Like that. I'm glad you mentioned the rotala. I keep forgetting about that, and it's supposedly really easy to take care of, right?
It really is. I mean, it just plant it and then trim it, which it's due for a trim, as you can see. I just haven't really been down here much this week, except to feed fish and call it good.
You just replant them, right?
Yep. Just plop the stems back in. I've got another tank that I'll be getting ready for some more hill streams soon. Just need to get a couple filters. My accidental green water. I don't know how I did it, but it's there.
Yeah.
Some other half black white fry that I've got to move into a different tank, and then I can free this one up for something else.
Okay. Any future plans for that one?
I'm sure. I don't know exactly what yet, but it'll be something.
Alrighty.
Then I've got 2 sunset honey gouramis. There's a definite male. Come on, focus, buddy.
Oh, yeah.
And the other one in here, I am just unsure. He's made a bubble nest before. Here's the other one. Okay. And I always thought the females were supposed to be grayer in color, but apparently the sunset honey gouramis can be different. So I don't know if this is a subdominant male or a female.
Okay.
Time will tell. There's been a couple bubble nests. Nate, hi, kitty. Got my trip hazard.
What kind of cat is that?
That's a Maine Coon. This is Ralph.
Hi, Ralph. Pretty cat.
Oh, yeah. He's all for belly rubs. Belly rubs and head scratches. Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Here I have green Moscow guppies, and let's see if I can get a male. Their best shown colors is when a light hits them from the side and not the top.
Oh yeah, definitely. That tail just has a nice shine to it. And it, like you said, when you hit it the light at just the right time, it's neat.
It is. It is. And down here is kind of a quarantine tank. I've got some snow white panda guppies. Or, I'm sorry, Corys.
Corys, yep.
Yep. I have got my poor metal blue lace male whose tail got eaten.
Oh.
If it'll focus. Come on, buddy. Nope. Nope. Okay. There's also a white cloud mountain minnows in here. So this is just kind of a quarantine for now, and we'll see how everybody does.
Yeah, it looks good so far.
Getting there. Getting there. They've been in there, for about a week.
Did you get those from Dan's Fish too, the Corys?
No. The Corys I got from Nationwide Aquatics in Chicago. The metal blue lace I did get from Dan's almost, let's see, about 9 months ago, maybe.
Okay.
The white cloud mountain minnows came from Steve with Big Steve's glass boxes.
Very nice.
And
do you like the experience of ordering fish online?
It's pretty convenient. I've had pretty good luck so far. Primarily, most of my stuff comes from Dan's, like these guys up here, the coral blue calico platies. These are another one of my favorites.
Yeah, nice orange and black. That was really pretty.
Yeah, they have blue on their sides too. That if they would sit in the light, you'd see it. But nobody likes the camera shoved in their face, I guess.
Yep, there's a couple tanks that have the same problem. Cute though.
Yeah.
Little beady eyes.
Yep. And down here we have some more galaxy blue tail that I'm growing out. I'll be separating the small fry out of here from the two larger or three. Oh gosh, there's more in here now. There's a lot more males originally than I originally thought. So they're fun. These guys are really prolific.
That you have.
What's that?
Jesse likes all the jungle valve. It looks like if he's talking about.
Oh yeah, I have. Once you have it, you don't unhave it.
Yeah.
I've got blue Moscow fry. This is kind of partially a cull tank, and some I'm waiting to see if they develop their colors better or not.
Yep.
Yeah, so like this guy here, his whole body is not blue, so we're waiting to see if he turns or if he's going to stay that way, and if so, he'll go into the kind of the guppy mosh pit.
I like it. Very nice.
And there is more of them here. So technically I could combine these tanks, but I'd rather not have males and females together if I don't have to.
Yep. Same here.
And down here, we've got our other half black whites.
Very nice.
That I'm holding on to for somebody else. And
yeah, I've never seen so many different variations of guppies and like different kinds. And ever since I've been doing these Show Me Your Tank series, like I've just seen so many different kinds of guppies, between all you guys, and it's really neat to see.
The half black whites are some of my favorites. They just have the most gorgeous tails.
Okay. Yeah, especially the one that's in front up there on the top right there. I mean, they're just really pretty.
Yeah. And I've got green Moscows that I'm holding for somebody. You can see their green's a little bit better down here.
Okay. Is your plan to hopefully ship fish to like the fish fam then, whoever wants them then? Or okay.
Yep. Actually, I shipped some blue dream shrimp to Fishcapades recently.
Okay.
So went pretty well.
Survival rate was hopefully top notch.
She said she didn't lose any.
Wonderful.
The green Moscow females really aren't too special to look at.
But will we be down the road then? Or is it like, is there a reason why you picked these guys? Or
I like green, I like blue,
okay.
and I like guppies.
Fair enough. I like it.
More of the blues down here, and I had just separated a lot of them out at one point because I was waiting to see who turned, full body blue. Like there's one in here that needs to get culled out, but this is all males, so it's not an issue.
Okay.
And let's see, the blue females dropped some more fry for me.
Oh yeah, look at all of them go.
Oh yeah.
Is that a shrimp on the right side there of that tank?
Yes,
right
it
there.
is.
Yeah.
Yep. I stole some out of another tank and kind of plucked them all over the place. Here's more of my galaxy blue tails that I've got growing out.
Man, those things are so neat.
They are. I just wish this would focus.
Looks pretty good now.
Yeah.
Sometimes it comes and goes, but I definitely see the coloration, and those tails are like almost like a midnight color. It really stands out.
Yeah, they are. The tails are a real navy blue, and when they're hit from the side, they have this bright blue spangle that is just really pretty.
Nice. Yeah, definitely.
And then the females over here hanging out.
Very nice.
Yeah. Then I also have some melanistic gambusia from Steve again, Big Steve's glass boxes.
Mm-hmm.
So they're hanging out here.
Nice black and white.
Cool little, cool little fish.
Mm-hmm. I like it. Very nice.
Yeah. And this was just getting a tank started up here. So it's just this is just a mutt guppy tank right now, aside from some tiger half moon males.
Okay.
Which is
those things are even pretty though too. I mean, especially that one in the center. It's really flashy for sure.
Yeah. I did notice though that the tiger half moons, they're aggressive and mean. Very mean. I don't know what it is about them.
Okay, they just happen to be that way. They just pick on them a lot, or
And here's my two trios of my breeding group for the Galaxy Blue Tails.
Yeah, that's wonderful. You have lots of babies and more to come.
Oh my gosh, there's so many. I mean, we're not even to the mutt guppy tank yet.
I've noticed you have a lot of those single or double sponge filters in each one of your tanks. Is that something that you picked personally, or is that something you picked eventually and then you just started working and for your filtration?
It was they're just those little cheap Higer ones, and they're cheap, and I can't say that I'm super impressed with them by any means and would like to find something better, but they're doing the job for now.
That's good though. And keep it consistent for the time being, so that's good.
Yeah. I've got my blue Galaris in here, which as soon as those smaller guppy tanks are empty, I'm going to separate these guys out and give them a little time away from each other, and then reintroduce them a pair at a time and see how it goes.
Now, what are the names of those? they're a little longer. I like the orange, bottom fin on those.
Yeah. These are blue Galaris. The I can't pronounce their scientific name very well, so I'm just going to not.
A common name is
fine. I got these from Dan's. They are the Wari location. I've gotten some eggs from them, but they've all fungused. But I have ridiculously hard water, and I wonder if that's the problem. So I do have an RO unit now, so next on the list is to kind of start getting these guys in a tad softer water and see if they do any better with their eggs.
Yeah, I don't know how, I guess on a side note, if it's different between African cichlids or any other type of fish. Because with my hard water here in Ohio, sometimes I've had that problem too. But for the most part, I've been really successful. So I don't know if like guppy fry or like these fish, for example, like do the eggs just don't work in harder water, or I don't know.
I guess these guys can be a little bit harder anyway. Their eggs have a tendency to fungus, but the high mineral count definitely does not help that situation at all.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And so it's either that or they're not, getting fertilized properly. So we'll see.
Yeah.
I'm gonna split them up and give them all a nice little break from each other. They actually all do really well in the 40. There's enough places for them to get away from each other and hide if needed.
Yep.
So,
Awesome.
but yeah, like I said, would like to split them up. Here we go.
Yep.
Is my mutt guppy tank that I also have some albino gold laser cories growing out in. But if you can see all the,
Wow, that is just such an active tank.
it is all the time. And I have some in here that are not mutts, but they're neon blues, and I don't have the females to them, so this is where they're residing.
Wow, that's a crazy amount of fish. What size tank is that one? Is that a 42?
Yeah, it's a 40.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very
And
neat,
it's the only
though.
one in here that doesn't have any like hair algae or string algae of any kind, just green spot algae.
Okay. That one in the center is really pretty too, the blue and purple.
Oh yeah. I'm a fan of blue.
Yeah, that's kind of my weakness for coloration too.
Yeah. And then up here, it's not lit up very well because duckweed is just covering the top. But this is my lineolata, the Hillstream lineolatas here. So you see it. There is a.
Oh yeah.
Well, goodbye.
Yeah.
But it's also my blue dream shrimp tank. And if you see all the shrimp.
Holy smoke. Now,
And they
I
are
kind of have a
just...
stupid question, but you see these are blue dream shrimp, you said?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know a lot about shrimp, but how do these guys breed?
The female will be, buried. Once she releases the eggs are fertilized by a male, and then they turn into little free swimming larvae,
Okay.
I guess, if you want to call. I think that's the right term. No, not in the substrate, just out in the open. Sometimes a female might go hide, but there's a lot of places in here, and the hill streams don't really predate on shrimp.
Oh, okay. So that's all.
And the shrimp don't predate on the hill stream eggs.
Okay.
So let's see if I can get a good look. But there's over 50 babies in here, and they are just everywhere. And I just saw the other day.
I put a few of these blue shrimp in my small tank that Brandon helped me put together, and then like the color died down. Would you know a reason why that would happen?
How long did you have them?
I've had them for, it actually just passed away recently, my last one, but I had them for probably a few months, and you could tell that it was shedding like skin and stuff too.
Okay.
So I'm not really sure. I was wondering if you knew the answer to that question, or if anybody else does or could elaborate on that.
Maybe somebody else can elaborate on that, but if they were breeding for a while and repopulating, you'll have some that you'll have to cull and they won't be as deep blue. Okay. Like these in here look so dark just because the light's not hitting them. If the light was on them, they'd be a brighter blue. Okay. Kind of, where'd he go? Kind of like you can see that one's more lit up at the moment, but this one over here looks real dark, and they're the same, or down here. Okay. Depending on lighting, they look bluer than another. So if I clear all the duckweed off, you'll be able to see them a lot better.
Still very pretty though.
Yeah. Yeah, this one's probably my favorite tank to watch when feeding because all the little babies come out, and I always try to feed towards the front so I can see them. Oh yeah. But they're just,
Makes it very entertaining.
Everywhere.
Yeah, I like it. And all your plants are live then, not a single fake plant, right? In all your tanks?
Nope, no fake plants.
Very nice.
Yeah. So this is what I have in my fish room. A lot of guppies, a few other things. Would like to narrow down the guppies and try out more things.
So what was the tank that was behind you whenever you were with Mexicali with Jorge when you were doing
That is my 230 community tank. That one's upstairs, and my kids and my husband are playing Pokemon at the moment, so I'm just going to let them play.
Fair enough. Well, it's been a nice nice to have you up here and show off the tanks and stuff. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
It's nice to see it. It's nice setup and looks really good.
Thank you.
Yep. Seems like everyone else in the chat was really happy with everything too. We got a good response, so it worked well.
Oh, awesome. I can't read the chat, so I can't have YouTube playing and be in your stream at the same time, or I hear double of you.
That's what's tough is whenever you're on your phone and you join in, you only can do one thing at a time unless you have like multiple phones.
Yeah, I don't.
I don't either. But anything else you want to share with us on any type of how you do filtration or anything about your plants or anything else? Or
oh gosh, what do you want to know? Working on kind of getting the fish room actually looking like a fish room. So here we have the free siding that I spoke about in Mexicali's stream. So I've got tan, white, there's gray, black, and I just got to find a color that I want it to be. And then the same material will go up on the ceiling.
Nice.
So, and finally got a sink in here. So that's a lot nicer.
That's like a must for any fish room to have a nearby sink.
It is, just when I really wanted it for actually just, hatching out brine shrimp and rinsing everything out. I ran out of brine shrimp. So
Aquatic Moose wants to know your fish care routine.
Oh man. I try to do water changes every Sunday if I can get it done. Sometimes we miss a Sunday. I mean, as far as that, I usually feed daily. But there's organisms in every tank. So if I miss a feed, it's not the end of the world. I don't like to miss a feed, but sometimes things happen. So usually I feed daily. Sometimes I'll feed twice a day. But I don't have anything in here that is, going to require 3 or 4 feedings a day to survive, which is nice at this point.
Very nice.
Something I'd love to do is.
I wanted to comment on this.
In my net game.
You really have a net for every fish tank. You're really good.
I know. I just ordered more. But I have the tanks numbered.
I've always heard about, using, especially when you have a sick fish, you're not supposed to use the same net with other tanks, and cross disease or thing. So you're really like up your game for nets.
Yeah. Well, I just bought a bunch of cheap nets. They didn't cost a lot, a few bucks a piece, and called Amazon it good. Special. So then, Amazon special. These ones I got off of Gemco's website because they were really cheap, and I discovered I don't like them.
Oh. I'm surprised because Gemco is
note to self. Good. I think, what I don't like about them is this little lip here. If I can do this one-handed. Use my leg. But this little,
you know what? I have a
little lip there
too, because it just kind of gets in the way of everything else.
It does. It gets in the way of everything else, but also a fish can get stuck right there. I mean, sure, you can flip it over and do it this way, but I don't know. Sometimes I'm not a fan of these.
Grabbing a net, and you don't think about it. The next thing you know, you got fish trapped in that little area that you don't want,
Right. And then I guess let's see. Let me go to the other side.
And everything's air driven then for your filters?
Yeah, everything's air driven. So we've got PVC running up under here and lines to each tank. I've got the air pump is in here. I don't know if it sounds loud to you guys. If you
no, we can't hear it at all. Is it from Gemco as well?
Yep. The linear air piston pump is from Gemco.
Yep.
I had some soil that was frozen that I'm warming up so I can put my white worms in here and just start getting a larger culture.
Okay.
And yesterday,
do
go
you know
ahead.
the answer to this? Sleep barbecue said, "Is that a built-in drain?" Do you know what he's talking about, or is that?
Is he talking about these things?
I don't know. Maybe you could follow up on that. But anywho, continue.
If he is, then yes. We had installed some PVC under here because we don't have a drain in this room whatsoever. This room was an addition onto the house when our old retaining wall patio failed. And we didn't want to go back with wood, so we got 4 walls, a floor, and a ceiling. And at that time, we were not fish keepers, so we were not planning for this at all. So here's our makeshift idea. Makeshift idea was to run PVC under here with little ports sticking out, and it runs at a downward angle towards the other end of the tanks here.
Okay.
And then it goes over to the other wall, and it's actually a trash can style sump pump underneath the sink that the sink flows into. This drain line flows into that, and it's pumped into a different room to go into a different drain.
Yep.
So I had to drill through some concrete to get it done.
Oh boy.
It was interesting.
Yeah, I bet. I mean, everything's interesting when you start a fish room up, especially when that's not the intent when you have a room like that, because that's how I started. It was just like, oh, it's a nice room and basement for storage, and here I am, a couple years later, and it's like, oh, well, this completely changed.
Yeah, that's what's over on the other side of here is storage.
Yep.
So,
what are you naming your fish cave?
Not at this point, but I do have a sign from Latoya that says "Welcome to the fish room" on the outside of the door.
There you go.
Yeah. In here, I just got some worms yesterday. Got some composting worms.
Oh, nice.
And yeah, so they'll be partially to feed the axolotls and any other fish.
That's kind of like what Brandon was telling us about his worm culture that he's going to feed all his fish with too, just for more natural protein.
Yeah, he's got some nice black worms, but these are just red wigglers, and if I can find a bunch, I'm sure they're all hiding. I stuck some food in here previously. There's one, but climbing out the walls. Get back down. So this is my first time doing a worm bin, so we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, good luck. I hope it works out for you.
Yeah, me too. That'd be nice. It's nice to be able to throw, your food scraps, vegetable scraps, any, decaying plant matter from the tanks can go in here. So I don't know, just try to keep it full circle. So whatever I don't give to my chickens, they'll go to the worms.
Fair enough.
Jose.
Can't beat, Jody with her game.
We're trying. Yeah. We're trying.
You're doing well.
We're getting there. It's all trial and error to start with. Take advice from people and see what works for you.
Yep. And this fish community, especially, as a group, with us together going through different live streams and stuff, that's why I think it's nice to have stuff like this to learn from each other, and as opposed to Facebook groups, because those can be a nightmare.
I don't do Facebook. I haven't done Facebook in almost a decade.
I
don't miss it.
There's good and bad about it, on a side note. I'm not going to get into detail, but we all know what's good and bad about Facebook, so fair enough.
I looked at it this way: if I didn't have you on my contact list, then I probably don't talk to you anyway.
Yep.
So I'm not. I don't know. It got too politicky for my personal cares, and I didn't like seeing everybody get mad at each other. It's just grow up.
Oh yeah, it's it's definitely more political than it ever has been, but it does have a marketplace, which is convenient for used equipment if need be. So that's the
Right. Yeah, my husband's mom lives on Marketplace.
Yeah.
She loves it.
All right.
Sorry, I'm just
Well,
trying to pick these out so I don't squish them when I put the lid back on.
yeah. I mean, they crawl all over the place. You got them still on the top of the little lid.
Yeah, that's all right. We're learning. So if they're trying to leave, that must mean I got them a little too wet, but it just doesn't feel wet. It doesn't even drip any water out when I squeeze the soil. So maybe I need to get them some more food in there.
There you go. Well, I appreciate you showing us around your fish room down there. It's definitely looks really well, and it definitely has progression in the future for sure.
It's coming along, working on getting organized and just trying to get it done.
Are you planning to
little
have a
by little?
business, or is this just for friends and family sort of thing?
Eventually, would love to have a store someday, but it's just, it's got to gain a lot of traction. I need to gain a lot of knowledge. There's so much that I don't know, so much I haven't tried. And
yep.
So for right now, it'll be, selling to friends, I only have one family member into fish, so it's okay.
I got none, so you're one ahead of me. I'm the lone survivor over here in my family.
Yeah.
They do like watching my live stream, so fair enough.
Yeah. Most of my family doesn't know that I even do this, so.
Yeah, I think most of mine do, but like distant relatives probably don't. But the ones that are immediate family, they get into it. They like coming over and seeing all the fish and stuff, so that makes it fun.
Yeah.
So, well, thanks, Jody. I appreciate you coming in.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Yep, you're welcome. We'll see you soon.
All right. Bye.
Bye. All righty. So is that, I'm going to ask everyone on here, is that still pinned? It looks like it still is on my end. For anyone else who wants to come up, is more than welcome to. I know that, like I said earlier, that we had Brandon and Kyle, they're doing their live stream now, and there's probably a few others as well. But yeah, Jody had a very nice setup. I agree. I've never seen that part of the fish room. I just saw what was on Mexicali stream, and that was about it. So it was nice to see another part of her fish room. And it seems like everything's going well, and a crazy amount of nets, which is pretty cool. Pinned. All right, thank you. Wow, that was perfect timing. Yeah, my lights don't have timers down here in the fish room, Jody. Mine just I just have a light switch. I have a light switch for my house lights, and then I have another light switch for my fish tank lights. And what I do for my routine is I like the house lights is what they're all LED shop lights, so that's why it's normally pretty bright around here. I just turn all the tank lights off after I'm done feeding everybody, and I leave all the house lights on, so that way they kind of still have that nighttime and daylight sort of thing. And there's some small windows in here. It's nothing major that still light up the room even in the mornings and stuff, but that's kind of how I do things. But yeah, it's nice to have timers on the lights, so you don't have to worry about turning them on or off and stuff. I think most lights do nowadays anyways. But yeah, that was good. Anyone else is more than welcome to join in on tonight's live stream. I think I got out mostly what I wanted to. I hope everyone's getting ready for the Super Bowl if everyone's going to watch it. I wasn't sure if that was if I was going to get more reaction, planning up for a Sunday, so that's why I switched it over to tonight. So, but yeah. Thank you, Jody, again for coming on. CC's Aquascape says all his tanks are messy right now. I've been doing tank maintenance. Sometimes that's the best time to do live streams. Some people really like doing that because I've done it a couple times, but I think the hardest part about doing that is trying to keep up with chat, especially like if you have like 20 or so people, involved with chat and they want to talk to you. It's hard to kind of go back and forth between your tank maintenance and not overflowing a tank. That was like probably the most challenging whenever I did my last tank maintenance live stream, which has been a while ago. It was like there was a couple of times where it was close. Granted, I have like 20 something tanks down here, but that was always the biggest challenge for me, is making sure I don't overfill, while I'm trying to chat on YouTube. But yeah, when we had, what was his name? George, and 3G, some of his tanks, some of the tanks, nothing is ever in perfect condition. And even if like an algae bloom here and there, like, honestly, like we're all in this together. We're not here to judge about how well or great or bad your tank looks. We're here to get to know you a little bit, see your fish, what your operation is, and see if we can all learn something, how your filtration works, how your water's set up, that sort of thing, and kind of get to see what everyone does differently. And I think it's a really neat thing to do. but yeah. Anyways, what else is going on in everyone's world? There's no one in backstage yet because I think everyone's got stage fright except for Jody. Uh-oh, now we got somebody. We're back. Guess who's back? Hello, Jose.
How are you? I said,
I'm fantastic. Good to see you again.
Today is the fish the water change day. So after a while, I said it's time to take a little rest. I have I have 6 more tanks, quarantine tanks to do. So I'll probably probably end up doing that much later today.
Are these quarantine tanks you previously are already had, or you got 6 more?
I did a cabinet with a rack of 3 and 3, 3 10s on top, 2 20s at the bottom, a 5, and another 20 off the rack, just for quarantine treatment and breeding.
Okay.
Then just the 4, and then the 4 main larger display tanks. So I'm just a little tired.
It's all good. Us and our priorities and busy work lives, right?
Yeah, listen, you gotta do it. Sometimes I spend the day, not the whole day doing work, but just do a little bit here, sit down, watch TV, watch whoever is on lives, and just take it easy. Usually Saturdays like my downtime day, sort of.
I'd like to someday kind of set up my tanks a little bit more in a viewing, like as far as upstairs go. I don't think I'll do it anytime soon, but like how our living room set up is like our fish tank is off to the side, not around where the TV is or anything like that. So it's kind of like defeating the purpose of being able to view the fish tank all the time. But I actually only have one fish tank that's in the kitchen to where we see all the time. And I feel like that's why those fish are always so personable, because every time you go get some out of the fridge or sit down at the table, they're right there, and they're greeting you. Whereas like your fish room, a lot of your fish tanks you can see from where you're sitting at, and you can enjoy them at the same time.
Yeah, that's what I like. Because a lot of the times I'm here, I'm talking to you, and I'm looking over at the tank. So it's television, the quarantine tanks, and then everything else is on the side here. I mean, if it's up to me, I probably have another 2 or 3 tanks, but sometimes I say, well, who needs a dining room table anyway? So,
Yep.
I have a few tanks, some tanks in storage. There was a 75-gallon that I set up probably around 1986, 87, about 88 actually. And once when life happened and I moved out of the house, my older kids kept the tank going for a while, and then it was empty, dry for about 10 years. And I told my daughter, I said, what are you going to do with that tank? I said, oh, no, we're going to set it up someday. And then recently, maybe a week or two, I went by the house and I asked my ex-wife, I said, what are you guys going to do with the tank? And she said, well, I think they finally want to let it go and want to start getting rid of some things. So I put it in storage, and I have an old Eheim filter. I did a short video, not a small video, on it 37 years later. That Eheim filter still works very well.
Very nice.
So,
it seems like how it all starts off with just one stand or one tank, because that's how it started with.
It's they run amazing. These magnetic impellers. This is not really much mechanical. They probably can go forever
Yeah.
most times, and I think
Yeah.
those filter have a good reputation. So
Good.
I'm gonna use it in the 120 with the discus, and
Uh-huh.
I'm just setting up. Finally, I'm taking the plunge and I'm doing a UV fertilizer. I've been thinking about it for a while, but cost sometimes prohibitive.
Yep. Yep.
But definitely, I think it's gonna have its benefits. Not eliminate bacteria, but certainly you can control a little bit, which uh, I have less sick periods and less, treatment. Occasionally, a couple of times a year, I have to treat the
Okay.
whole tank because, I see one with something and I just treat it. I don't take a chance not to have a disaster.
Especially with discus, you've learned from, mistakes, in the past and, stuff that you learn from. So it makes
Yeah,
total sense.
we learn and we try to keep them healthy and avoid disasters again.
Yes.
I say hello to mom and dad before. If they're still watching, Mr. and Mrs. Price, hello. And
Jose says
Ashley.
hi. Hopefully, my mom is still. I don't know if my mom showed up or not. I know my dad is.
No, I didn't see her in the chat, but I said hello anyway. Maybe Dad will
There you go.
pass it on.
Yeah, absolutely. They always like coming in and chatting with you guys. It seems too. So,
Have you spoken to Jim? Happy Place. I've been pretty much almost daily chatting with him, but he seems to be
um,
coming along. The normal up and down.
I texted him Friday. He says it's been a struggle, but he said the surgery. I guess it was a little bit worse than the last one, but he's making good progress.
Yeah.
So he said thanks for checking up on him, but he's doing good.
Yeah.
But I think it might just take a little longer this time. It seems it must have been worse. I didn't ask him in detail. I didn't actually call him. It was just through text. But for
Yeah.
the most part, from what I understand, he's doing okay.
No, yeah, he's doing fine. He told me the other day he's been getting up and getting around, but
Okay.
sometimes I like when women have children, they said, "Oh, I'm not going through this again," and then they see the cute face. Oh, I want another one.
Yep.
So maybe
They're
he
like, oh,
forgot.
this is so hard. I don't know if I can do this. And then a couple years later, here we
Yeah,
go.
maybe he forgot what it was. But every time it's just different.
Yep.
It's just different. Every procedure, every surgery is different. So, but
Jody
that,
wants to see your discus if you want, if you have time
that
to.
sure, sure. I will show you what's going on here. I haven't completely finished my routine here, so I have crap all over the place. Let me switch cameras here.
No problem.
Uh, can you say? Am I still on, or did I lose you?
Yes, we are still good to go if you can hear me.
Yeah, yeah. I only see the. Oh, these were the quarantine tanks that I said. These are 310s at the top.
Uh-huh.
A few of these guys have a little something with them. So there's two that I'm quarantining, two Sveni Geophagus, and a couple of other ones just have little something. So I just put them on there to treat them. These guys are quarantining. This stud here, actually, this is a female.
Okay.
I separated the male. These I got from Ron, one of the auctions on Jeff
Uh-huh.
Patton.
Yeah.
And there's a few. There's some Pandagaras, Celeste Peroldanis that I have in here. These are quarantining, and some are the glows are for my mom, and then there's about 8 Harlequin boars. These I'm just quarantining from my mom for her tank.
Okay. So
And the
you said Jeff gave you some fish then, right?
I got them on one of the auctions from Ron, but it was at Jeff's one of Jeff's auctions.
Oh, okay. I got you.
Yeah, and this is a breeding pair here.
That is pretty nice,
Yeah.
vibrant. Is that I want to say red? I would
It's
assume.
a
Yep.
reflexia,
Uh-huh.
and then this other what they call it, a sunshine golden yellow back there. They paired off, so whatever they want to do, I let them do it.
There you go. That's
And
good.
yeah, and these are about maybe 30, 40 the green neons. I never kept neons before. I prefer
The Cardinals, maybe, or
Yeah, the Cardinals, but these
yeah.
green neons I like, but I'm planning to put these in a nano tank with some
Okay.
CPDs that I'm getting from Roxanne in April.
Uh-huh.
So I'm just gonna do a 20. That is I hope to make it a planted nano. This
Okay.
here I don't know there's at least a minimum 100 crevences here. They bred before, so I just gave them to random people and some to my mom. So
Okay.
I just have the female here and separated the male in here because she was kind of beating up on him a little bit. So I
Oh,
have the two female and that they've been breeding.
oh, nice.
Uh, yeah, this is the. Let me see if I can. Does it help this better?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Anyway, so this is a discus
Your
tank.
main display. Yep.
Yeah, this is 120. There's probably I don't know about maybe 25 discus in here altogether.
That's crazy. It's crazy
Yeah.
that they all get along too, with that many in there.
Yeah, once in a while they quarrel for this is their own hierarchy, but they just more so when they're breeding. There's a couple, there's a blue couple that those two blue ones back there. Since I took a big wood that I had in there,
Hmm.
they've been putting eggs at least once or twice a week on that rock there. So they just control the space. But they even with all the space they have in the tank, they always like this corner.
They always go back to that spot, for
Yeah,
eggs and stuff.
yeah, they hang on. They're always hanging on here, and the rest of the tank is kind of empty. So these plants here, these tiger lotus, they're just doing amazing.
That's
I
good.
I do I do CO2 on all the tanks, all the ones that at least have plants in it. And so this is the 120 discus tank.
Hmm.
This other one here on the left, it's a 90-gallon. It's all overcrowded for those people who are thinking, yes, I overcrowd tanks. Uh,
Yeah, I kind of do too. So,
Yeah, this tank, although it was, I tried plants on it, but the Congo tetras, the Buenos Aires tetras, and also the Odessa barbs, they love the plants. There's nothing that I could keep alive except the crib on it, and
hmm,
this plant that is also, sorry, that is also back there, that light green one.
yes.
I cannot touch it. Plastic plants that I had to hide the filter. They don't seem to like this either, so they left it alone.
Well, that's good.
Yeah,
You
and
said, you said those are fake plants.
not that one, not the crib, but everything else in here is a fake
Okay.
plant.
Okay.
I just wanted the color and everything else, but
Yep.
keeping plants here, I've tried everything. And this one, I said, let me. They don't seem to like it at all. So
That's bizarre.
beginning to spread it around. Also, that George Jorge, uh,
Yes.
in one of his show me a well not
All
tank.
things nature.
Yeah, so he's mentioned that also his one of the tanks with the Buenos Aires, same deal. And I said, listen, I have this new plant here. I sent them a little video that
Yep.
they don't bother it. And I said, what's the name? I said, I have no idea because of the fish, or they did not have a name
Hmm.
for it. It grows up pretty quickly and it has a lot of aerial roots that you can just split them anywhere and replant them. And they just grow very quickly, a very thick, healthy system. I told
And
him
what
that
was the name of that plant again? Sorry.
no, I have no idea. That's what I said. I don't know what
Oh,
the
okay. Okay.
it grows and covers quickly.
That's
I'm going
crazy.
in spring when it's a little warm. I'm going to send them some plants of those. So he said
Yeah,
he
if
wants.
you keep growing them and stuff, I might take some from you.
I would have to send you some because they do really nice. And I get you don't know how many different plants I've tried, but these they
They just
just
tear
love
them up.
it in there.
Okay.
And this is my tiger barb tank with also planted. So this is a different, a little thin plant, similar to that one, not the same, but I
Uh-huh.
also put some of that one back there. Again, with the idea just to cover the heater. And I just planted one back here. Let me see, do I see it? Can't see it. I just planted a small piece of it there
Hmm.
just today. And hopefully, I hope, also to
But
cover,
it'll keep growing.
yeah, also to cover the pre-filter there. Uh,
Nice.
Look, I have a collection of
Holy smoke! Everyone's been giving you mugs. That's awesome.
Yeah, this one, Christine gave me hers. She says she doesn't sell them, but she sent me one.
Okay.
And I got one from Jesse. This one my nephew made for me. This one is Stephen P. This is another one of mine. This one is Ron,
Uh
and this is June.
huh.
And this one is actually this one is my tank behind it, but it has both of Jesse's logos on it. My nephew worked on his logos, so I asked him to make me one with both of his logos. But it has one of my tanks behind it,
Very
and
nice.
this other one. This is a 60-gallon tank. It's in the kitchen entrance here,
Yep.
and this is a mix barb, different things here. So it's just a
Rummy nose.
yeah. Rummy knows this large angel here.
Hey, the one guy, 3G, that was on my last live stream. He had some phenomenal angels, and it almost made me between, the angels that you got and the ones that 3G had. It was like, man, I'm almost tempted to start an angel tank.
Yeah, this one here, it's pretty. He's pretty big. I mean, his fins,
Yeah.
up and down. My hands are pretty big, and he almost the full hand. He almost has.
Okay.
Can almost cover this one here. I only keep one per tank because sooner or later you have issues. This
Yep.
one and this other one here, I got him. Now this one is his fins are. This is a 20, and
Okay.
almost half of the width of the tank. But what
Yeah,
happened?
that's crazy. What happened to the fins?
No, they're actually all growing. You see that? I don't know if you
Okay.
can.
Okay, so it's just growing. That's just how it's coming out. That's interesting.
Now, what happened with this guy was that he was getting beaten up by the other guy. I had them together.
Okay.
They were the same batch. They're a little bit different, but I think they were the same batch. Uh, Maybe same wherever they came from when I got them at the store. But the other one was beating the heck out of this one, and angel and things. I thought the only place I could put him was with the tiger barbs with the long fins. They did not bother him for about a year, and
Okay.
maybe he was not feeling well. I was a little sick, and then he was being chased around. So they were maybe all that new growth. I mean, their fins are much bigger. So have them alone.
Mhm.
So they were bothering him, and he was hiding. So then I put him with two discus that I was just overfeeding and increasing their weight. Then he started beating on the two discus.
Oh wow, that's crazy.
And I said, "What should I do? Should I put him back with the original, him up, or put him back in the tiger barb tanks?" So
Wow. Trial and error, my friend.
yeah, he's really nice. I hate to give him
I hate to
away.
get rid of them. I mean, like Jody said, it's a very beautiful fish, very beautiful
It-
fin.
I've had angels, many in the past. I always like them. It's like one of my favorite fish to initially get.
Yeah.
But this one is just really, really nice, and he's huge. I've never had one this big.
Yeah.
But I think I probably come alone, even if it's in a 10-gallon. Not ideal for that size, but this is a 20 right now. I have
Okay.
even with a tank with smaller fish that he won't bother. I'm going to switch the camera around. If I
All things nature said that there might be some apps so you could help identify plants if need be. Maybe he could elaborate on that as well.
Oh, really? Can somebody, if he knows, can he post a link on it? Because this one is really, and I am gonna spread it around and just give it away. That's what I'm doing with the crebensis is finding random people. Hey, do you want some? I'll
He's
give
like,
you.
sure.
Let me
Yeah,
see.
I wouldn't know the answer to that question because I don't know that much about plants, so that's why I like to ask a lot of questions about plants that people that have them, what their names of them are and how easy or challenging they are to take care of, sort of thing.
Yeah. Most of the times, they do okay. On the 120, for some reason, some of the Anubias I was getting some rhizome rot on them, but they seem to have whatever was going on seemed to have resolved already. So
Very nice.
back to to the cameras. Camera. So I always have an issue with the. Oh, here it is.
Very nice.
Give technology to an old dude, and
You've been good otherwise then, Jose?
yeah, it's good. I've been since my second job, which is in an emergency room. I just I work by contracts, renewable 13-week contracts. So since the 28th of December, I've just been working one day. So I have all this luxury time now. But probably,
Okay.
probably again.
All righty. Staying happy and healthy and family all good?
Oh, thank God, yeah. I think the
Good.
ladies are in the little one's room over there. They did I painted for her. It was her ninth birthday, and what she wanted was cinnamon roll for me to paint her room. Cinnamon roll is a new cartoon. Any of
Okay.
you have younger ones, you'll know. But she wanted me just to paint it in the colors of that. So that was her. She got other things, of course, but that's what
Yeah.
she asked for her gift. So they were getting everything back
There you
together and decorating the room.
go.
That's
Cinnamon
what we're
roll, huh?
working on.
That's cool.
It's part of the series of Hello Kitty. It's one of the characters there, but don't ask me. It's just right now. It's just her and her friends. It's everything cinnamon roll.
Nice.
Anyway, I'll let you go. I'll keep watching and listening, and let somebody else come on. But thank you for letting me on
All right.
again,
You're
everybody.
welcome.
Thank you.
Appreciate you coming in. See you later, Jose. Let's see. It says, well, looks like a ruby colored angel in with discus I've never seen. Interesting. Yeah, some of these angelfish, like I would keep saying before, it makes it really tempting to want to buy some of these things because some of these angelfish are just so like big, like Jose just showed, like almost like a span of your hand, and it's just amazing, just to see the fins are almost bigger than their body just from the spread of how big they are. It's I don't know. Maybe I'm just easily amused. um, but yeah. Anyone else that would like to join is more than welcome to. And I can probably hang out for a little while longer. Like I said, I know there's other live streams happening right now too. So I know people are trying to share the love as well. So I appreciate that with everyone working with me and everybody else to do this live stream. So let's see what else is going on in the fish room. Can't think of anything else. I mean, my most calm but skittish tank has been my Mbuna tank, or Mabuna, however, like Jesse calls them booners. It's probably been the most stable tank so far. And even my Central and South American tank, eventually I'm going to have to get a bigger tank for that and find, but once they start growing, I want to have them, with more room to swim around in and stuff. So it's really nice to have a stable tank. You don't have to do hardly anything. And knock on wood, I haven't had a fish death in my Abuna tank in a very long time. Even when I move my fish down here from upstairs to downstairs, I just haven't had a single issue. I don't have to touch it. I just do water changes and that's it. And I have enough water movement in that tank that all the detritus and debris and everything gets pushed into the filter. So I never have to gravel vacuum, or in this case sand. I never have to do any of that stuff. Because everything gets just pushed around. The Mbunas dig and do their thing, and none of the rocks fall down. I never have to. I put one of those plastic, little small square egg crates on the bottom, so that way all these rocks down here they don't move. And it's just ever since I moved this tank downstairs. I know the light's off because you guys can't really see it too well. But it's really nice when you can find ways to just find a tank that just settles and it's good. You don't have to do any work with it. That's kind of always nice to fall back on. Of say if you have a struggle in the on a certain tank, or for example, in my African cichlid tank, and I'm trying to figure it out. Whenever my giraffe cichlid died, it was very challenging and frustrating, but I figured it out finally. But then you kind of come down and you're like, man, it's I cannot, I was actually telling my wife, I was like, holy crap, this is driving me nuts. I don't know what else to do, and I remember telling her that. And then once I kind of recollect yourself and you kind of think, there's a lot of other stuff down here that's going to make it worth my while, not that I'm quitting the hobby, because I don't think that'll ever happen. But I'm just saying, as an example, you just kind of have to look at the big picture and say, it's learn from it and go from there and keep pushing to be the best fish keeper you can. I mean, that's all part in the fish keeping hobby. There's always new things to learn. There's always new things to see, new fish stores to go to, more tanks to buy, another fish that you want to learn about that you're like, you know what, I could probably make that happen. That's this whole fish room for me was a big challenge alone in itself, just to put it together. And then finding the space to put all the tanks and putting all the shelves together. I mean, building all the stands, and some people they'll buy like the industrial stands. I kind of have a mixture between your metal stands, your industrial stands, and then I have my own built stands that I did myself. And it's kind of like something that's, you got to feel proud for yourself. I feel like that's kind of like a semi-accomplishment that I have. And I feel like it's an accomplishment that everyone should have, in the fish room to be happy for. So we have CC's Aqua Escapes. Let me know in the chat if you're ready, and we can roll with you if you want. I guess okay, thumbs up. There we go. Hey, CC.
Hi.
How's it going?
That's all right. I am taking off the dead ends of my valves.
No problem. Very lush aquarium.
Yeah, it's very heavily planted. Most of it is the valve.
Okay.
And then these little friends are my Madaka, or Japanese rice fish.
Let me full screen you. There you go.
It might be a little murky because I've been ripping things out. But
Yeah, that's all good. It looks very pretty, though. I really like this whole aquascape you've done with this.
the glass needs to be cleaned. But I'm just doing maintenance. But
Yeah,
I like talking about Madaka. They aren't super popular, so I like showing them off and being like, "Hey, these exist."
They're here, right here.
Yeah.
If someone in the chat post CC's YouTube channel, if you would, if anyone can.
I haven't been posting videos, but I do live streams.
Okay. Are you planning to do videos in the future?
Yeah. Right now, I'm just kind of like learning how to do everything. That one just tried to eat duckweed. You can have it.
So how long have you been in the hobby?
On and off my whole entire life, but seriously, probably about 6 years.
Okay. And you're continuing to do so because you just enjoy it, I hope, and still learning?
Yeah, I do fish for my mental health.
Yeah.
And I like science. So I really like water parameters and figuring things out.
Yeah, it's a whole learning curve if you really get in depth with some of the stuff and like the chemistry behind it and what you can do with, whatever fish can handle and how to figure it all out. It's been like I never even knew the nitrogen cycle existed whenever I was younger, because you don't know that. You don't know any better. At least I did. So
it's been real interesting to learn about water parameters, especially things that aren't like traditional water parameters, like how phosphates affect your algae growth.
That's something I need to educate myself a little bit more on too, because I on my one tank, I feel like it's either, you might be able to know this too just from mentioning it, like brown algae, how that to be, and green algae. I know green algae, a lot of it has to do with lighting, of course, but it's a lot to learn.
If you look here, I have green spot algae on this plant.
Okay.
Oh, it's really bad. But I use plant grow lights, and this was like dead set, like nothing was covering it. So the green spot algae, like this leaf in particular, got really bad until I started directing the valves on top of it to cover it.
Okay. So that kind of helped alleviate the more on those plants as opposed to that one then.
Right. And like this is the coin Anubias back here. I don't know if it's seen very well.
Yeah.
But it has no spot algae on it because it's completely covered. But it still gets enough light in between.
Yeah. That's like a dwarf Anubias probably. It shouldn't get as big as like all the other stuff, or will it get bigger eventually?
It will get bigger, but the leaves stay small.
Okay.
See, I think here, this one down here is the biggest size that you're probably going to get at the leaves.
Okay. Now, are you going to let these grow outside your tank? Because I know that Salient, he has a lot of stuff that grows outside of his tank from inside of him. It's all around and stuff. I think that's really neat.
Not this tank, because what happens is that this is a pond style tank, so I don't do frequent water changes. I do, and I let the TDS build.
Yeah.
So I will let this evaporate like 3 inches down.
Okay.
And a lot of that immersed growth will die off if I let it grow out.
Yeah, that makes sense. So it's more like a controlled tank. You hardly have to do anything to it except for maybe some trimming here and there.
I basically trim the plants. A lot of the valves. This valve is the valve contortionist. And let's see if I can push it to the front and you can see it's lovely behavior. It just tangles. And the Medaka are typically top water fish.
Okay.
So they'll hide in the tangles of the valve.
Okay. I can see you free them all up, it looks like.
But the issue is that what I'm ripping off right now is when the water level gets low, it pushes the tangles up and they dry out.
Oh, yeah. That's what you're trying to get rid of all the dry leaves out of then.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that makes sense. Is this the only fish tank you have currently, or do you have others too? Or?
I have a lot of fish tanks.
Okay.
Hold on. Let me go dry my hands.
Yeah, no worries. I like the colors like the orange ones. You know, it's a really neat orange color, orange white. It looks like. Really nice.
Okay. Oh God. It's a mess right now since I'm doing maintenance, but let's see. Over here. I don't know how well you're going to be able to see it with the light on. Let me turn that off. That one too.
Yeah, your guppies. Man, guppies are so popular. We've had guppies this before tonight.
My guppies, they're in quarantine. They're super sick.
Okay.
The babies are great. I bought these guys from Petco, and I had over 15 deaths in like 2 weeks.
Oh my goodness.
And
now, are you continue to go to Petco, or are you just not going to say no altogether? Or?
Oh, I'm sorry. It was PetSmart. And no, I will not go back. Not to buy fish.
Right.
At
least to that location.
I have since there was no deaths, I put my males in here, and what I have is extremely overweight female guppies.
Okay.
I tried to see if it was bloat, but they have no signs of it being actual bloat. They're just chubby.
Just overeating, maybe, perhaps?
They eat everything.
Okay. Have you
So
something that has worked for me, whether it's overeating or bloat? Do you ever use like aquarium salt, for something like that? Because that could possibly help.
with these imported guppies that are typically raised in diluted brackish water,
Okay.
I always put salt in, especially if they're not doing well.
Right.
So this is a salted tank right now, and the water is extremely hard. So the guppies like it. The plants don't, but the plants are only there for the babies.
So hopefully you won't have any more fish deaths then, and hopefully the rest of these guys will make it through.
Yeah, it's been a month and a half with no fish deaths.
Good.
Very good. Have some weird behaving fish. They look like they have physical swim bladder damage.
Okay.
And they sit at the bottom of the tank and then float up for food. So they have an okay quality of life. If I see any fry that have this issue, I'll feed them to my other fish.
Gotcha. Yeah, seems like I had swim bladder with one of my Africans, and it just kind of got on the bottom, but it lasted quite a few months. It's amazing they can still last. So
as long as they're able to eat and go to the bathroom.
Yep. And that's how mine was too. I think the one that I ended up giving to Jim, it eventually did pass away, but it lasted for a long time, with the same issue. So
they, especially the more of the hardy fish, they tend to do pretty well.
Uh-huh. Very nice.
And then over here, I have my coolie loach tank.
Oh yeah, okay.
I don't know if you'll ever will ever see a coolie loach because
I thought I saw one here in the center there. Maybe I didn't.
They hide really well.
Indeed.
Oh, I found one. Let's see if we can get it. It's mirrored, so this is going to take a second. Sorry.
Oh, no worries.
It is.
Always tends to be the popular thing is whenever you want to show your fish, sometimes the ones you want to see are always hiding.
It's like under that leaf.
Okay.
They are a bit harder to spot. Sometimes they'll hang up on one of the sponge filters, but the tank itself is.
How many do you have in there? Are you planning to have more in there too, or?
So I have 8 total, and 2 of them have green bellies.
Okay. Cool. Very nice.
Then I have the mess. Let's see. I have a lot of tanks. I have a lot of plants.
Well, that's really neat. I really like the plants, coming out of the tank too. I mean, that's really neat.
And then I have, this is a black water tank with green neon tetras.
Very nice.
And there's
I actually started the hobby with some neon tetras too. Neon tetras and mollies are my first 2 fish that I had.
There's a betta and a timeout bin. All his tank gets set up.
Okay.
I have no idea. I'll go over to my jars real quick. Let me move this PVC pipe so you can see it a bit better. Here's one of my jars. It is.
You put this all together yourself then?
Yep.
Very nice. Is that why you kind of named your channel CC's Aquascapes? Because you like to do everything, buy everything put all together yourself, sort of thing. And
Aquascapes it's like a play on aquascapes. Because my main thing is aquascaping.
Very nice.
And mental health. So using the hobby as an escape.
Yeah, I don't blame you there. I mean, fish keeping, as long as you can do good at it and keep learning and keep striving, it really helps people in mental health as well. It's supposed to be a real and to calm your mind and everything. It's proven. It's a proven thing. So.
The green neon tetras are being extremely showy right now, so that's cool.
Yeah. What's the betta? You just had a timeout. Was it in that tank originally, or you just have it?
So he came in. He was supposed to hang out with the green neon tetras, but green neon specifically attack larger fish.
Oh, okay.
So he's in a breeder box while I set up. This will be his 5-gallon.
Okay.
It was set up and cycling, and then I noticed it was leaking, so I had to tear it down and reseal it.
Hopefully you didn't get any major damage.
No, thankfully. It was like a very small leak. What happened is the seal at the bottom somehow became ripped off.
Oh.
And it was leaking very slowly out through the bottom rim and up. So I got really lucky. That's
good.
And then
a small tank too. I mean, it's nothing like a major leak, so that's also something for.
These are just more Medaka of a different kind. I'm feeding them for internal parasites.
Okay.
They Medaka tend to always come in with parasites.
Okay, so you just like to keep in like their own quarantine tank and kind of treat them as they come.
Oh yeah. Well, they're bred in ponds, so there's always an issue. I don't know. This is my native live bear. Hoya.
Okay.
Doing some stuff up here. I don't think I'll be able to show them, but oh, there we go.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. Those are neat. They're really active too.
They're a mix of the Aphanis, mosquito fish, and least killifish.
Oh, nice. I like the killifish.
Well, least killifish aren't killifish. I don't know why they have that name.
Okay.
They are one of the smallest live bearers and the smallest live bearer in the United States.
Okay. I didn't know that. That's interesting.
They do well by themselves, not doing much.
Yeah. How many tanks total do you have?
With fish in them? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. The jars, I'm going to count as 1, 2, 3, 5. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 with fish in them.
Very nice. And I'm hoping you're planning on keeping that amount. Are you planning on expanding? Or are you gonna give yourself a line, kind of like what I do? Like there's a line that I can't have this many tanks or this many fish, sort of thing.
Right now, the tanks I have are the tanks I'm going to keep until I move.
Okay.
And then I'm planning a fish barn.
Oh, very nice. So that's going to be like part of the, I guess for lots of better terms, is like whenever you go to find your new place to live at, you're going to be just thinking ahead of time of where to put a fish room, per se.
Yeah.
Nice.
Making plans. So a barn's going to fit on the property.
I like it.
House.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Is that are you planning to move in the future, like soon? Like, is that something you're really looking forward to, so you can do the fish room and all that sort of thing? Or
Yeah, I'm looking to move in the next year and a half.
okay, so maybe if you keep following my channel and join in every now and then, maybe a year and a half after that, we can get updates with this. I think that would be fantastic. Give you a
Yeah,
progression.
definitely.
Wonderful. Well, I appreciate you sharing your fish tanks with us. It's nice to see what you do and your different potted plants and your different fish you have, and it's definitely great to see it.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Is there anything else you'd like to share with us before we let you go, or anything else you want to say to the audience?
I'm currently doing a series on old books in the fish hobby.
Oh, nice.
Over on my channel on Wednesdays.
Okay.
I invite people to come and see how older books have changed or stayed the same.
Mm-hmm.
Typically they're from the 90s, 80s, and early 2000s. And
yeah, before YouTube days.
Yep. So I'm going through a bunch of different books. This week's book is a book on discus.
Oh.
No, cichlids.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say when you said discus, I'm like, well, that was kind of irony. We just had Jose up here.
That's why I had discus in my head. No, they're African cichlids. It's an African cichlid book. And older books typically have free PDFs or very cheap PDFs online, so people are welcome to read each week's book and come and talk about it in the chat or in the comments when the video uploads.
Well, that's neat. Might have to join in on one of those. You do it every Wednesday, you said?
Yeah, every Wednesday after Dan's Fish's stream.
Okay. Well, then I'm gonna have to tune in on Wednesday, and whenever I'm done here, I'll have to, for anyone else who hasn't joined CC's channel, make sure you subscribe and maybe check in on this on the Wednesdays for her African cichlid reading. It's interesting because like on the OCA, like I didn't even think about it just because in today's world, you know, it's everything's at your fingertips. But they actually had a guy there that had just had a ton of fish books, all from like what you said, like from the 80s all the way up to now. I'm just like, holy cow. It's like he had a whole encyclopedia of different fish books. It was crazy.
Yep.
But it was really neat.
I collect old books anyways. I have a lot of books from the 40s. And I like older books and I like fish, so I figured I'd take my knowledge on both of those and spread it to the world. Also, there are like little pieces of fish keeping history that I really want to keep alive.
Yes. Yeah, that's really neat because you might actually, just from reading books and stuff, you might actually be able to tell people that, you know, have been doing fish keeping for a while. And from you reading books, you might know a thing or two that they may not. You know, it may come in maybe now and then, which might be useful. So I think that's a really good idea.
Yeah. Thank you.
From each other. So yes, you're welcome. Thanks for joining in. I appreciate it. And have a great rest of the night.
Thank you. You too.
All right. You're welcome. All right. Well, thank you, Cece. And thank you, Zen, for posting the channel on there for me. I can stay on here for a few minutes longer. But I think my plan is I like this 2-hour sort of thing. It's been working really well. Plus, I got to work tomorrow. But if anyone else wants to join in, they're more than welcome to. Yes, thank you. That was neat. It's so interesting to see how everyone's fish room is set up and how they do their own thing and what works for them. It's really I don't know, like we've always said, everything is different. You know, not every fish room is the same, no matter how you look at it. You might have the same community fish, or if you have guppies, African cichlids, angelfish, discus, or whatever. You know, I mean, depending on it's just a personalization thing. There's no like pet hobby or however you want to call it out there that you can just personalize everything and make it however you want it. I mean, just like what Jim from Happy Place Aquatics says, it's your hobby, do it your way, and they really think it really emphasizes the fish keeping hobby because you really can have so many broad ranges of how to set things up and how you quarantine and how you do filtration and how you want to aquascape, whether it's plants or sand or whatever. I mean, it's just, there's so many options to choose from. It can be overwhelming, but if we just stay simplistic and not overwhelm yourself and just go day by day and learn things as you go along, it can be a very wonderful hobby. You're welcome. I want to thank Jose for coming up here, CC for coming up here, Jody P for coming up here. I thought NC was coming up on here because he said that he was to do some updates, but I haven't seen him in the chat. But I will probably be going here momentarily so you guys can kind of mingle around the other live streams and I'm not taking up too much of your weekend. I think like I said, in a nutshell, it kind of sucks that StreamYard charges so much because I really like, the quality and being able to have, where my little icon up here and stuff, and sort of personalization stuff here and there. And StreamYard's just so user friendly. So like whenever I do this again, it won't be as good a quality and I won't have my icon. And, I just like bringing people up on the fly. It's really convenient. But my next stream, I will probably do one for myself because I haven't done one of those in a while. And it's, just like, Jose, it's always a pleasure hanging out with all of you. I really appreciate meeting new people and then, showing the tanks and everything. If you guys haven't checked the first two live streams of Show Me Your Tanks, it wouldn't be a bad idea to do so. I might go in there and just maybe put chapters in there for you guys. If you guys are interested in maybe like skimming through some of the live streams that other people had, because there's really some really neat stuff that people have set up, and I think it's worthwhile to check out in the meantime. But CC's, we're welcome. We look forward to the future, maybe within your books on Wednesdays and your future whenever you start moving. That'll be exciting to see in the future. And Jose, thanks for coming in. Jody P, thanks for showing us all your nets. No, really, thanks for showing us your fish room because it was nice to see all your operation and stuff down there with all your guppies and all the different things you do. And then, what was the other one? I think that was it, right? It worked well tonight. I'm really happy how everything turned out. And everyone else that popped in to hang out. I had to say that. It was like, it was funny because was it June that beat me to it? I can't remember who beat me to it, but regardless, it was just kind of like, I didn't want to, interrupt you. So I was thinking in my head, I was listening on what you were saying, but in my head, I was like, man, that's a lot of nets. But maybe it was a sleeper barbecue. But anyways, not much else to say. I really like doing this, and I really think it really brings the fish community in to learn a lot about things that people may not know, and we get to see everyone's fish operation. And we've had new people come in every time, so I think we should keep doing this. Zen says you can never have too many nets. That's something. Maybe that's something that Jody intrigued me to do, because maybe I should go buy more nets, because I've actually had the same few nets for a while, so I'm probably due for a switcheroo. do. All right, I'll stop. That was too much. But yeah, you've definitely got me interested in buying more nets, because nets probably should be replaced on a regular, or at least a semi-regular basis. And that's a practice I probably should do a little bit better. But yeah. I think I'm going to end the stream for tonight so you guys can kind of mingle around other live streams and hang out with other people. And then get you guys ready for tomorrow, for Sunday and the rest of the weekend. So I want to thank each and every one of you for stopping by. Zen says, biosecurity in the fish room is important. It's how you don't spread diseases, or worse, duckweed to other tanks. Very true. Legislature's closet, very organized. Thank you guys so much. I am going to let you guys go because I have to still get up early for work tomorrow. It's been a pleasure having the guests up here. It's been a pleasure talking to each and every one of you that's been in the chat. And I will try to schedule another one for me in the future. And as well, like I said before, I'm going to keep doing this, but it's just going to be on YouTube, not on StreamYard. So I won't be able to bring up the chat all the time unless I'm on StreamYard for this series. But yes, I hope everyone has a wonderful rest of the weekend, a wonderful evening. And then hopefully we'll see you guys again soon. Everyone take care and have a great rest of your evening.